There's a lot more to mixing than I realized. Time, speed, even mixing direction, it all matters. Proper mixing triggers chemical reactions that allow your material to work as intended. Get it wrong, and you could end up with a batch that doesn't bond right, doesn't cure right, or just flat out fails. In other words, mixing matters. Today, we're gonna check out a new tool that takes a lot of the guesswork out of the equation, the Collomix XQ6. Now, if you've heard of Collomix, then you probably know that they exist for one reason and one reason only: to help you get the best small batch mix possible. You also might know that they have been designing and engineering small batch mixing machines in Germany for over 50 years. So it's safe to say that they know their way around the mixing bucket. Collomix changed the game when they launched the XO series over a decade ago. It tackled all of the main complaints the pros had: bad ergonomics, weak or misgeared motors, and clunky paddle changes. It fixed all that and then some, which was huge. So if the XO series already fixed these issues, then why does the XQ series even exist? Well, let's jump into what makes this thing different and help you decide if your mixer is due for an upgrade. On the outside, the XQ series looks very similar to its predecessor. It puts you in a nice upright position, the handles help you manage the torque, and they give you plenty of control, plus easy access to the trigger. What you can't see is the newly redesigned motor, which is not only more powerful, but also quieter. It keeps the decibel level just under that which would require hearing protection. They also slapped on a helical gearbox. What's that? Well, it helps to keep your RPMs consistent even at low speeds, and it extends the life of your mixer. Now, all of you OG XO users, you're familiar with the Hexafix. Well, that got an upgrade too. Improved ergonomics and tighter tolerances to keep out debris, making for smooth and easy paddle changes. All right, thank you for bearing with me. Now it's time to get into the real meat and potatoes of this redesign: the tech. The XQ6 features a brand new control panel and LED screen, and it shows you exactly how long you've been mixing. When you release the trigger, the timer stops. Why is this such a game changer? Well, every bag of material has a specified mix time. Most people, best case scenario, use a timer on their phone, but that doesn't account for all of the interruptions which are so common on the job site. Like we said, mixing is a science. Estimates don't get you consistent results, and this takes the guesswork out of the equation. If it needs to be mixed for 4 minutes, you mix until the timer reads 4 minutes. Simple as that. You know what else impacts your mix? Paddle speed. Until now, you had to guess how fast your paddle was spinning. This bad boy allows you to set your exact RPMs and they'll stay consistent, even under load. Got thin, low viscosity material? Set it at a higher RPM. Medium viscosity? Mid RPM. Or if you have some thick material, set it at a lower RPM. You'll also notice that the XQ6 does not come with a mixing paddle, but there's a reason for that. Little known fact, using the right paddle for your mix is just as important as speed and duration. So instead of throwing in a paddle that you may or may not use, Collomix leaves that choice up to you. Now, I know what you're thinking. Jeff, this all seems a little complicated. How am I supposed to know which paddle I need for what material? Well, the answer is right here. This handy dandy little cheat sheet is called the Mixagon, and it shows you exactly which paddle you need for what material. Pretty cool, right? So here's my final thought. As I said at the beginning of this video, there's a lot more to mixing than I realized. But between the RPM control and timer, a motor that's built from the ground up for mixing, and the ability to pick the right paddle for your mix, this thing is gonna take a lot of the guesswork out of the equation, whether you're an old pro or it's your first day on the site. If I had to pick it apart, the only thing I could say is that the LED screen could be a little bit brighter, especially in direct sunlight. Plus, it's not cordless, but really when you're mixing, you're normally posted up in one spot, so it's kind of a non-issue. At the end of the day, Collomix took something that already worked really well and brought it to the next level. So if you're serious about your mix, this tool could make a lot of sense for you. But what do you think? Is the XQ6 worth the investment? Let us know in the comments, hit that subscribe button and bell for notifications, and as always, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next video.